Hello and welcome back to Stranded Deep. Today we're back at the cartographer to look once more at the map editor. Yeah, not the island editor, the map editor. I keep calling it weird things, but it's actually the map editor. We're going to create an island this episode, and then we're going to return next episode back to the overworld and continue with our narrative. So don't worry, there's only one more of these episodes. In fact, this episode. But our main problem is that we have a world, a lovely, lovely world, which has no clay in it. Well, very limited clay. So we have an island, which is kind of cool, but we need to make ourselves a new island, which we can slot into the overworld to replace one of our current islands, and we need to bundle a bunch of clay onto it. I didn't know where I was going in that sentence. It was just like, the sentence is going to stop. It's still going. We kind of had a little 101 on how to edit the world. I showed you things like, what an island looks like when you take away the sea. It looks like this giant cake, a large platter of stuff. But what we're actually going to do is probably just hit generate island a few times just to get a quick island that we like the look of. Generate island. Yes. Do we like the look of this one? Yeah. Sure. I don't know. Why not? We need to create a little narrative. So what we will do is just straight up hit objects. I'm not going to bother messing around with the terrain too much because, well, there's no real need. We'll go to rocks straight off, and we will find the cliffity cliffs, and we'll just drag some in. Oh, what are you doing? You're automatically occluding the island. You're being a cliff-like thing. No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What we're doing is we're just dropping some stuff in, and we're making it so the island itself doesn't look too small. We're kind of occluding the central area of the island straight away. So we'll just drag some stuff in, get it all sort of kind of smash these bits together and stuff. You don't want to be looking across the entire island and go, oh, it's actually really small. Oh, I didn't realize how small this island is. So we'll pop some rocks in the middle. There we go, some rocks in the middle, and that's pretty much all we really need. And maybe shoreline rocks can be sort of pop. No, they look crap. Well, they probably look okay in like the middle or whatever. Small rock, fine. I like that. I like it. We'll do it live. So we grab this. I'm just going to move this around a little bit. We know that grass and stuff will eventually pop into the world, so we don't have any grass rendering just yet. And the reason for that is the regular reason is that that's kind of cool. Just going to pop it down into the mesh a little bit so there's no obvious geometry sticking up above the world that we can kind of see underneath, because that would look weird. But yeah, I was about to say something and I can't remember what I was going to say. So let's talk about, I don't know, Vietnamese cuisine. Oh yeah, that was it. Rendering. Yeah, the grass and stuff isn't rendering at the moment. We know that'll render. All the fishes and stuff will come in. It's just needless overhead while we're in the editor. So it's not going to pop anything in now. Shoreline rocks. Should put some shoreline rocks in. Yeah, why not? Some rocks just to mess us up. Vietnamese cuisine. Yeah, I was looking into that earlier. And you might say, oh, why were you looking into Vietnamese cuisine? Kind of guess, because the lovely people of Vietnam, they have something that you wouldn't expect them to be nomming down like an old Twix. But it isn't an old Twix. It is, in fact. Oh, guess. We got time. I mean, I'm just literally just popping some set dressing down at the moment. Can you guess what the lovely people of Vietnam really do like munching on? Un baguette. Yeah, it turns out that if you happen to be an old French colony, that some things kind of linger, and apparently they're a big fan of the old baguette there, which is yeah, it's kind of cool actually. Everyone likes a baguette. Oh, well, most people like a baguette. You put a bit of lettuce in there. You put a bit of tomato, a bit of cheese, a bit of mayo if you're into that, or apparently ranch dressing if you're American, or I'm guessing if you're Danish, you probably want a bit of remoulade in there as well, or something like that. We're putting shoreline rocks down on the outside. There are other rocks. There are other things that we can do. Clay rocks, mining rocks. We'll leave those for the time being. We can pop animals in, but they're just sharks. So if we really want to, scare the crap out of ourselves, we can pop in a great white or something. Structures. Cool. Well, there's all these structures. I'm not going to pop sea forts down at the moment. We're just going to pop in some. I don't know. What do we call it? Some sketching in, I guess. We're just going to sketch some stuff in, so we don't need any of the misc stuff. The rocks are good to break stuff up. Let's put some trees in. We've got palm fronds. We've got these cool. We can basically see in the drag and drop ficus trees. There's two types, isn't there? There's hang on a sec. Which type is this? This is kind of a grovey thing. Actually, I just need to move one of my webcams. Delete this object. Yeah. One of my webcams. You've got lots of webcams. Why? You're a bit of a voyeur? No, that's the one for head tracking. So, yeah, that's a head tracking webcam. Which is why it's in an awkward position for the IR tracking thingies. So we'll just move this to where it's kind of cool. Well, interestingly, with these ficus trees, you could probably, I don't know if you can see this, but there's like an animation that plays with falling leaves and stuff, which is really super cool. I do like these ficus trees. One thing we're not going to do, the camera does love speeding up and sort of jamming us into the upper stratosphere. One of the things we're not going to do is we are not going to be worrying too much about the big old pine trees, the cook pines, because I don't like them, to be honest. I don't like them. I'd like an island which kind of harkens back to an older time. This is what I meant by, just making sure that everything is actually clipped into the mesh, because otherwise we get stuff like this where there's a trunk and it's kind of, can we look up inside it? Yeah, we probably look up inside the mesh and see there's nothing actually on the inside. So yeah, there's a trunk there, which doesn't need to be there. So we want to jam that down into the world, into the world mesh. So we'll do this. So it's kind of not obvious that it's actually just an object. Let's see it rotate. Let's rotate it back a bit. Yes, there we go. And just bring it up a little bit. Can we bring it up a bit? Just so it's just about to pop out of the ground. Yeah, let's do that. I don't know if you can hear the cat in the background. He is on a plastic bag. Yep, he's been to the vets. He's a sick boy. But that looks weird. That does actually look weird. I'm not too keen on that, to be honest. I'm not keen on it. Let's get rid of it. Goodbye. Tell us where you come thingy. Whatever. Palm trees. Oh, we can do with some palm trees. Pop some palm trees down. Give them a little rando rotate. Ooh, rando rotate, just to make sure they're not sort of facing the same direction as all the other palm trees. Different palm trees, just pop them in. Probably on the beach. More beach, more of the time. Just quick, just some rando rotate. I mean, it doesn't matter because it just ends up where the hell the mouse ends up. Yep, I don't know if these things are going to have coconuts on them. Probably not. Ooh, that could be a problem. Yeah, that could be a real big problem, actually, if these things don't start off with coconuts. Huh. Didn't think about that when we started on this little mission. Just make sure that's definitely clipped into the world. Fine, it's clipped into the world. Good. More palm trees. Big palm trees. Big palm trees, small palm trees the size of your head. Let's do this. Interestingly, we can rotate the palm trees around on like their vertical axis. We can't rotate them round to have them sort of canted off to one side. So that's kind of an interesting little thingy. We'll pop these two together a little bit together. So there's, there's wood and stuff on this island. We might have to kind of cunningly work out a way of getting a little bit of food on the island and a little bit of water on the island. I'm just putting the palm trees around the edge, kind of, in order to make sure they are close to the shoreline where the coconuts would probably land, because coconuts float in the sea. So we're just gonna drag and drop, and the coconuts floating in the sea. They'll just end up on the island, probably closer to the shoreline than things like the ficus and stuff do. We probably break up some of this texture as well, just like this repeating texture here. Something you would look for if you were like editing a photograph, for example. You would probably not want any repeating texture if you're doing a lot of cloning and stuff. So we're going to throw in some of these small palm trees. Not too many. Let's just rotate them. Not too many, because what we don't need is sort of a world which is kind of it's not too bad. Ficus tree. No, we want this ficus tree. So let's break up the island with a bit of foliage. Not you though. Let's delete that and come in here, and we pop a ficus tree down here. Cool. Let's get the camera, please. Camera, please. Right, that is kind of cool. I do like that. I do like the branches out over the beach. There we go. Just have them in a way that they're not going to get in like the way of the player. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I might just drop it into the world a little bit. So pop that down a little bit. Just make sure everything is actually clipped into the ground. And I'll tell you what, another ficus tree. Yeah, why not? Why not? Let's pop him in the middle somewhere. No, let's get rid of that. What else have we got in terms of stuff? Oh, young palms. Young palms. Let's have this online. Okay, so we got some young palms. I'm hoping that young palms actually regen. So we'll just throw them down. Let's do this. Good. Kitty has decided he's going to spend all of his time washing his butt whilst we play video games. Brilliant. That's exactly what you want. A small... Ooh, pine small. Yep, let's have it. Let's do it. I'll do it! We'll have the little pine trees. Some like little woody things. So we'll get some foliage in here. Cool. Let's just have a look at that. Yep. Pines. So pines will probably be distributed using bird poop. So birds would eat pine nuts, I'm guessing, and they'll be like, oh, you know what? I really like these pine nuts. I'm going to ingest them, and some of them will come out of my butt when I do a little poopy. And yeah, that's basically how that works. How seeds and stuff are transmitted around if they are not a coconut and they're not floating around in the sea. Cool. Palm logs. Do we want to put some palm logs down? Yes. He could have waited. Damn cat could have waited any other time of day to sort of be like, you know what, I'm doing my pre-going to sleep of butt washings now. And I'd have been like, yeah, okay, kitty, you're going to do your pre-going to sleep butt washings. But no, he had to wait until we started recording. Fine. Horrible, well, lovely creature, but horrible timing. So we're just moving some like little bits of foliage into the world. What I might do is throw some more rocks and stuff down just to break this stuff up. And then we'll get to the real meat of the thing. What am I doing? Oh yeah, we can click up and down, but okay, that works. The little slider does actually work. Oh god, I was thinking, yeah, the slider's not actually doing anything, but it is. It's totally doing stuff. So we'll throw in some rando plants here and there just to make sure that it doesn't just like look like the same old thing. And we have to remember there will be grass, so that's kind of cool. Ficus tree. Ficus tree 2 is the one that we keep sort of popping in and then going, oh, I do not like that. But I think it does have a place in the world. Whether that place is on this island, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't look too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all. Right, fine. So that'll be cool. I think I will end up putting some more rocks in. Lovely islandy stuff. I think this is a small island that we're making here. Driftwood pile, logs, potato plant. Let's throw potato plants are quite interesting actually. Oh, yucca trees. Yes. So some yuccas next to the rocks. So we'll just rotate these guys round. Yuccas. Just give them a little rotate so they're not kind of facing the same direction. Right, and another one. Sure, why not? Ooh. Oh yeah, it's stuck to the thing, isn't it? Fine. Good. Driftwood piles on the beaches. Why not? Why not? I'll do it. Driftwood pile there. Driftwood pile here. And then driftwood pile kind of here, I guess. Yep, fine. Why not? The potato plant, I think it's a useless plant. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is kind of a useless plant, but it does make for some interesting, just like breaking up the ground. So what I might do is put some potato plants around here, just to make sure that the ground is kind of broken up a little bit. A little rotate. There we go, a couple of potato plants, just kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's kind of interesting that when you pull out from the island, it looks a bit all flat and a little bit boring, and then you move into the island and it looks a little bit more bumpy, I guess. Did we throw any of these guys in? Yeah, we did. So there's plenty of like plant life. Yep, I'll do that. Another one of these guys. Yeah, so it looks like we can throw in a fair amount of plants. And it keeps it all nice and interesting, I guess. There we go. Anything else? A few more palms, I think. That'd be kind of nice. Can we? No, if you put a palm down on something, it just kind of clips around it. Ah, interesting. Very, very interesting. So we cannot... it's not too bad at the moment. We can't sort of have them, funny angles. We can't even glitch them at funny angles, which is something of note, I guess. Something of note. We'll just make sure he's actually in the world. Moving around. So the theme is palm trees on the outer edge, where the sand is. Or maybe a little bit of grass. More foliagey stuff on the inside, which is fine. And as we get in, we see that, let's put some coir wires and stuff in. That's not the one. I just went to hit Control Z as an automatic response. No, I want this one here. There we go. So we're just giving them a little rotate. There we go. That's the wrong rotate. Fine. I mean, stuff can actually be off at an angle. I mean, things do grow at an angle. Are there any big sort of shrubby things we can throw in here just to make sure there's a... No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit some rocks. Throw some rocks down. Not that rock. Something that kind of matches the weathered look of these rocks, I think. That'd be kind of cool. Big rock. It's not weathered. It's not the same, I'm afraid. So we can always get some little cliffs and stuff. Oh, that's not a little cliff. That's a big cliff. Hey, calm your pants. There we go. See? Oh, that does look like a little cliff now. Yeah, no, it really does. There's some plants and stuff there, but what we'll do is we will just make sure it's not actually touching anything. Give it a bit of an old rotate. Remember that there'll be other things like grass and stuff in. Cool. It does look a bit like a garden center at the moment, but I'm kind of cool with that. Rocks. Well, I might throw another cliff over here. Whoa, hey, whoa, that's enormous. What are you doing? I don't know. I mean, on one hand, that's kind of cool. That's really kind of cool. So we've got some rocks on this end of the island. As part of the top of cliffs, it's kind of weathered, so they're all right. This part of the island's a little bit more bare, but I don't mind that so much. In terms of mats, what we got? Well, we got We got palm trees we can chop down. We got a few yuccas which we can get rope and stuff from. We got the little baby pine trees, and we have the baby palm trees. So that's a complete different stuff things. We got some driftwood. Okay, I think we're okay for that sort of stuff. Structures everywhere, but not a drop to drink. We're going to need to make a way of getting clay onto the island. It's like, oh no, we need a bit of clay, no? So let us create a reasonable kind of idea for having how clay ended up on this island. Is this the murder? One of these is a murder wreck. If you go into it, you can never get out. This isn't the murder wreck, is it? This might be the murder wreck. Let's just see if we can clip inside it. Ooh. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Oh yeah, I think this might actually be the murder wreck. And then we go away from the object, and then the camera speeds up and throws us into orbit. Yeah, we were always let's go hit the look at button. There we go. It's the easiest way to get back to it. That's the problem. When you get close to something, then the camera slows down, and when you move away from it, the camera speeds up exponentially. This wreck might have, I mean, if this panel is open, I think originally it was very hard to get out of it, so we're not going to have that wreck. Rowboat, we don't need the rowboat wreck. Seafoot bridge, I think. I mean, we could be cheating. This one's kind of the one that I like. You could be a little bit cheaty and be like, you know what? You know what? This is the boat that, because we know loot is going to spawn on it. We know loot's going to spawn on it, but yeah, I'm thinking whatevs. They ran aground. And they were like, oh no, I did not see this beautiful handcrafted island here. And then they couldn't get themselves off the island again. So what they did is they threw down the gangplank everywhere, but not right here. Oh, that's interesting. If you try and put it out of bounds, it comes up with a big ass red square. Right. So what we'll do is we will rotate this, and then we will rotate it again. And then we will move it. Oh, hey, what are you doing? You are not supposed to be doing this. This is using bits of the world that is not supposed to be. You cannot do this. This is. No, I'm doing it. Don't worry about that. I'm doing it. So we're going to throw in a bit of a gangplank here, so that we can actually get up to it. So we move it here. Yeah. So the survivors of the wreck threw down some bits of metal, and they were like, oh, you know what, we're going to get ourselves onto the island. So they got themselves onto the island using some bits of metal and stuff. Is that kind of cool? That's kind of cool, but it's also kind of long. I don't know what angle we can actually climb up on, so let's just push that down into there. Rotate it slightly. We need the blue one. There we are. And then we can push it down just so it kind of clips into the hull, because it's not a physics object. Just so it clips into the hull, and bring it back a little bit. So we've got this top toggle here, just kind of hooked on. Yeah, that might work. I mean, if it doesn't work, we'll just have to improvise, but that kind of works. And what did they do when they were on the island? Well, they items please. Actually, one of the things we are going to need to do is make some. So let's just scatter some loot around the place. We'll put some tarps and stuff down. Rotate them, obviously. Ooh, interesting. Is that clipped into the terrain? Huh. What will happen? Let's put that slightly above the terrain. I think because these are physics objects, I'd like them. Oh god. I want them slightly above the terrain so they don't just kind of clip in. So let's just pop that on. I think basically what will happen is when we approach the island, they'll just drop down under physics. They'll be like, "Oh, physics, hello, my friend." So we'll put a couple of tarps down. We don't need loads of stuff. Scrap planks. We can put down scrap corrugated driftwood sticks. Oh yeah, driftwood sticks. Barrels, no. Tires, not really. Boy balls, stone tools. Now we start getting to interesting stuff. Crude axe. So we could actually put in a bunch of stuff for us to kind of come and pick up. But hang on a minute. What was their cargo? Yep, they were carrying clay bricks. That is really cheaty. Do we want to put clay bricks down? No, that's too cheaty. I think that's too cheaty. We'll put some clay down though. So their cargo was poopy clay, just lots of poopy clay. And no, I think we're probably gonna have to put some clay bricks down, just to get the old. So they were here. They were digging up clay, and they were like, "Oh, you know what? Let's have some clay bits." Drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop, drag and drop. I want this one. Give me this one. We can clone, but we can't select more than. The cloning doesn't really help us if we have the old menu open. Where they had some, whatever. They had some bricks. They were here. They had a container ship, and they were carrying clay to the new world of New York. Because New York, well, that's fine, but they were like, "Oh, you know what? We need a new New York, for that is the better place for us to be." And everyone was like, "Yeah, let's go there and build some houses and stuff." But you know what? They didn't get there. They didn't get there because they ran aground on this island. And they were like, bum. I do not want you to be running aground on this island with my new pick and everything, no? So, they were here. They had the new picks out. And they'd slammed their boat into not terrain. Not terrain? That's silly. It's interesting. We can't build things like... we can build vitamins, morphine, bandage, antibiotics, label maker, torch, cloth, machete, lantern. Let's throw a lantern down for giggles, because they were here, they're on the beach, and they were like, "Oh, there's a lantern." A couple of water bowls. Why not? Why not? It's one of the things we can't actually create at the moment. That's not what we want to rotate. And they were like, "Oh, we've got our water bottles as well, because, whatever, man." So hopefully all of this should drop down under physics, and we'll be like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Sticks. Oh yeah, there are sticks and stuff. Usually we can find them on the island, so let's just pop them in. Just raise up so they're not just... Hopefully these are all physics objects and they will actually just sink down. Otherwise, this will be a very quick learning experiment, learning thingy. Because there's usually sticks and stuff lying around an island anyway. Cool. Let's just raise you up in the background. I know we're not kind of there, but just rotate it just in case we do turn up and it's just like, "Oh yeah, you know what? The sticks aren't really oriented properly, and they're just all floating, and physics hasn't taken over, and it's just like, oh bum." Right, okay, so we've got this. This is starting to feel a little bit like home, no? No. Right, okay, so we've got some sticks all sort of lying around. Interestingly, I don't know if you would make an island for you. Would you make an island for yourself? I suppose if you wanted to be really cheaty, you could be making an island for yourself, and you could put on loads of stuff. You could be like, "I want all the chips," and there'd be chips everywhere, and you'd be like, "Yes, I have all the chips." Or if you're American, fries. If you're French, le chip. Okay, fine. Because that's exactly what happens when you're French. You'll just be like, I cannot be bothered speaking your English, Anglaise. I don't actually speak French. I speak a little bit German, because German's kind of cool language to pick up if you're into speaking foreign languages. We got not really much more. We got some rope coils, which we could always throw in, and a few rocks around the island. I think we will throw some rocks around the island, so we'll just kind of make sure they are raised up out of the ground. Interestingly, there we go. See, I don't know what happens when if you put it down, if it just clips through the mesh and then is gone forever. So I'd rather not. Why do they keep selecting something in the background? Don't be selecting things in the background. That's stupid. Yeah, so we don't need to rotate all of these. Just make sure. We could come to this island and be just an island of floating rocks, and we'll just be like, oh, bum, we're on an island of floating rocks. That's a bit silly. Yeah, see, it's pick something in the background to do stuff with. That's really odd. More rocks. More rocks. It just means that if you're running around the island for the first time, you turn up and you do your usual running around the island looking for stuff. There's stuff on the beach to pick up, which is kind of cool. There we go. There we go. It rotates. We just slam ourselves into a tree for the first time, so that's a thing that we can do. No buckets. There are no buckets, which is why we've got a little cargo ship of clay. I don't even know how much clay that is. That could be like bugger all clay. That could be like not enough clay to do what we need it to do, but then we've got some bits and pieces anyway, so I don't know. There's something I do know that we can do momentarily, just to after we finish popping rocks down, just to make sure we can get a little bit more clay. Because clay is kind of a thing. Actually, how do we get clay? What is clay? What is clay? Where does it come from? Oh, camera everywhere, but not a. There's probably enough rocks. So we've thrown a bunch of rocks around. Fuel tank, yes. Machete, yes. Cloth, nope. Label making, nope. Bandages and all that sort of stuff. We don't need it. Corrugated scrap. You know what? I was going to put some down here, but no, it just feels too cheaty. Stone tools, nope. We don't need that. Spears, nope. Refined knife. No. We don't need any of this stuff. So we've got the pick and everything. We've got these items down. Right. Rocks. All these rocks. Mining clay rock. Oh, I think I will, thank you. We'll jam this in there. And oh no, they jammed themselves into a... They just slammed themselves into it. That's what's... like iceberg to the hull, as it were. This sort of nug of rockiness. Do we want to put another? Let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of it. So we're going to make life slightly difficult for ourselves. We'll put one out here as well. I don't know. That looks a little bit dodge. Yeah. This looks out of place now. It does look out of place. But being in place is not something that we need to worry about. A couple of things down here. Yeah, so it did... Ooh, interesting. The hitbox for this is freaking enormous. It's enormous. Let's do that. So there's a couple of mineable bits of clay that we can get, and if we need to make ourselves a little thing because we're scared of sharks, we can do that. That's fine. But they slammed into that. It's probably they got themselves stuck on clay. Which, oh yeah, what is clay? What is clay? Who is the milkman? What is clay? I think it's aluminium oxide. How do you get aluminium oxide? Well, you take aluminium and you oxidize it. Really? That's what? That's impossible. I will not have you speaking of the aluminium oxide like that. Well, yeah, it's basically that. I mean, it's a bunch of other things as well, like a little bit of iron. And basically just other things that are in the environment. But how do you get aluminium oxide? Well, the easiest way is to leave it outside in the rain. A better way would be just to burn it. Yeah, no, seriously. Get a bit of magnesium, set fire to the magnesium, like a blue gas flame should be hot enough, I guess. Once the magnesium is on, will that float? Oh, that's an interesting little thing. Once the magnesium is actually burning, it'll burn very hot, very white, and you can be like, oh, now this is on fire, no? It will then set light to aluminium. So you can use a bit of magnesium ribbon to set light to a bit of magnesium. They had the raft out, but the raft was like kind of useless, I guess. Does it need to be there? No, it's curiosity. Curiosity killed many things. So we've got the rocks in the middle of the island, and they're kind of chilling, being rocks. I don't think there's any way we can get food on the island, but there's enough stuff here to make stills. There's enough stuff here to make lovely watery things. What am I thinking? No, I'm not thinking. So the coconut trees, the palm trees probably won't have coconuts on them, I don't think. There's enough stuff to make rope. There's enough stuff to make water stills. There's a bunch of clay, some mineable clay stuff, and a tool to mine the clay, which is essentially what we need on this island. There's a few stacks of bricks and a couple of water bottles. Do we want to put a bit more clay down? Yes. This is probably where the clone option comes in handy. Yes, it is. So we can clone it. We can hit this. We can do a little rotate. We can look at it, and then we can clone it. And it clones over here. So I'll just move this into here. Let's move that over here. There we go. So we'll just make sure that this stuff is all kind of mixed up and not too obvious. But yeah, that was their cargo. That was what they were hauling. This will probably have some treasure on it as well. Makes for an interesting thing. It's quite deep at this point here. So that's kind of cool. Which way's forward? Oh, this is forward. Apparently they lost power and they ended up getting stuck on this island. They washed ashore. They threw down like a gangplank, which I believe will not be solid when we get into the game. This will be like transparent. Will have transparent parts in it. They got the little raft out, a little riggedy raft. They got some stuff out, and they were like, oh, maybe we need to do stuff on this island. And then they got munched down by sharks, which is why nobody's here. That's why nobody's here. Sad but true. We'll throw in a few more trees, a few more like bits and pieces, and then probably call it a day, I think. So yeah, let's put that in there. Let's get a rotate. Another palm tree here. Get a quick rotate. So yeah, not so that it's kind of obvious that there's a bunch of stuff. You know, for like a real quick. Interesting. It's actually gone out of render range over there. Cool. So for like a real quick sash, we've actually got something that doesn't look completely horrible. I'm actually quite happy with that. Obviously, stuff is popping in and out, which won't do that when we're in the game because our render distance is actually fairly high, which is kind of cool. I don't think the fruit tree is going to have fruit on them. We are going to still get like basic resources from things, and we have our clay and various bits and pieces. Is there anything else we need to do kind of to finish us off? I mean, we could put, I don't know. We could do a lot of things. We could do an awful lot of things. Areas that kind of bug me is there's no point of interest here. So I'll probably just throw in, what's that? Is that? That's not that. So we'll just, yeah, throw in a few of these little planty plants here, just to kind of break things up, I guess. There we are. I mean, it's not 100%, but it's not horrible. Yeah, I think we could live with this island. I think we could live with this island. Nana plants. Did we put any nana plants in before? I don't know if we did. Where would you get nanas on an island like this? In an island like this, in a world like this, where do the nanas come from? Just throw in a few more just to break up the terrain. I think a rock here maybe. It does stand to reason there will be something there. I know. I said I would do the thing and then call it a day, but I just want to get a little. That's big. A little rock thing in there. Just a whoa. There we go. There we go. Then we know if we look under the mesh in the island, it's going to look like ass, like terrifying ass down there. If you can imagine ass being terrifying, which it probably is. Yeah, we've got this sort of rock thing going north-south of the island. I don't think it's clipped into anything important. Nope. So it just fills in a load of blank space, which is good. There isn't anything here that's going to give us frame rate issues, I don't think. So we've got a point of interest over there, which is the boat. Point of interest here, which are the trees and the rocks. Point of interest in the center of the island, which is a big rock mass. Point of interest here, rocks and trees again, and then here, the big mass of trees, which is fine. Rocks on the outside, there are a few. Here, the south of the, well, north and south, basically in a kind of line. So it's not like, oh, there are rocks. We could probably put shore rocks down here as well, and it wouldn't look terrible. Let's do that. Good, because that kind of preserves the like line of rocks running up the spine of the island. I don't know if we need them here so much, but you know what, I'll leave it. No, I won't. I won't leave it. I'm going to get rid of that because that kind of looks a bit odd. Just kind of being there. That doesn't make too much. Yeah, that's a bit better. Shore rocks everywhere. Throw it in there. Yeah, that makes sense because we've got rocks here, rocks down the center. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. And then rocks over here. And a little bit of rock there. No problem. That looks absolutely fine for an island. Do we want to do a thing with the camera? Can we do a thing with the camera? Oh, we can. We can do a thing with the camera. How do we use the camera? I think that might have been the camera being used. I'm not sure. Whatever. So we'll hit terrain. We gotta save it now. We're gonna save it and pop it into our world. Oh my god! Right, okay, fine. We will hit save. Bam. New map. No, it was new. Oh, we can't put lowercase. So New York. We're taking it back. A small. Oh, we can put lowercase here. It's really hard to type underneath the microphone boom arm. AMD with clay, and rocks. Where's K? Oh my god! Hang on. ROCKS. There's literally no space under here. Yo. Small island with clay and rocks, yeah. Right, so preview image. We don't have a preview image. We have saved it. So if we resume, how do we do the old... That doesn't do anything. Why is this buttony camera thing not working? This is a useless camera, and I should know. Okay, well, I went and looked in the thing, and there doesn't seem to be any like key binding for the camera itself. So although we can see the camera and we can click, it doesn't seem to take a picture of the island. So if you know what to do with this thing, let me know in the comments, because good lord, I haven't found it. There's nothing in the key bindings, and a quick search on the internets. Well, that really doesn't do anything for us. So F, enter, no. Well, I'm afraid we're just going to have to hit escape on this. Although it does look lovely. Okay, so we saved our map. Yeah, let's just save it at the top of it. Fine. We'll hit resume, and then we're back in the editor. All we need to do now is we don't need the raft or anything. We can quit. So we'll quit back to the cartographer, the hardest of cartographers, and eventually it'll load the world back in. And now the world is loaded back in. We can now replace an island with our island, and I believe the way we do it is we drag and we drop. So if we drop it to there, we create our island. So next time, we will come back and we will sail across to our new island with the shipwreck and all the cool stuff on it, and we'll find all our clay and do clay stuff. Brilliant. And we'll apply that saving world data. So it's Dunyan Rings. If we hover over it, it says New York, and it's me. And it gives us a little description. A small item with clay and rocks. Yo, version 2.0 status current version. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it there because it's been a very long episode. If you're liking this, please like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends about the channel because that always helps. And you know what? I will catch you next time. Bye.